This is the Doctor, President-elect of the High Council of Time Lords.
I am definitely a madman with a box.
Anyone for jelly, baby?
I'm the Doctor. I'm 904 years old. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castabras.
How are you, fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box podcast. My name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And we're at episode 71.
Woohoo!
This is a potentially interesting podcast because this is the first time that Adam and I are doing it video over Skype.
Yeah, we don't normally allow ourselves to actually see ourselves in moving image. It's normally just a photo, isn't it? But we've got the cameras on today.
Yeah, the cameras are out.
Which is fun because it's weird because I do always rock along when the theme starts. I do always dance around. Now I've got to see that you do the same thing. So we're both just bobbing along.
Of course.
Theme tune there, waiting to come in. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, of course. It's do you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of reworking the theme tune into the older one that we had. I think it was the beginning of last year.
The more tenanty one.
The more tenanty one, yeah, because after watching The End of Time as well, I was very much like, oh, that theme is so good. I love that theme. But I think we're going to stick with this one for a bit.
I like this theme. I have to say, I do quite like this theme.
Yeah, because it's kind of our thing for a while.
It's a good mix of the sort of two as well, because I don't really like the Series 8 and 9 theme, the new Capaldi theme. It's too screechy. It still hasn't grown on me. But this one's kind of a mix of the two. I quite like it, so yeah. Are you still going to put some new bits in the beginning?
I will do.
Yeah, it's a new dialogue. I think we need Capaldi in there, you see. Every time we kick off, I'm always waiting for him to come in.
Yes, that's true. We do need Capaldi, for sure. We'll have to think up a decent quote. I mean, we've probably got a decent bag to reach into. We've probably got a decent handbag of stuff to reach into. He's probably done enough decent quotes now.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, has Capaldi got a thing? Because you've got, obviously, Tom is Jelly Baby. I was saying to you, I love Unlimited Rice Pudding, the Seventh Doctor. But has Capaldi got a thing? Has he got a... Because we had that shut up thing for a while, when we definitely don't want that.
No.
But has he got a thing?
Has he got a thing? I'm not sure. If he hasn't really got a catchphrase as such, has he?
No. He hasn't got like a Geronimo or an Alonzi, has he?
No, that's a good point, actually. He hasn't really got a thing. He did have the... I think that was a result of Clara, though, wasn't it? He had the shut up thing, like you say.
Yeah, and I hated that, really. I'm glad they kind of phased it out, even though it kind of made a very brief appearance in Face the Raven, didn't it? Clara said it in that last speech, and I was like, no, don't bring that back. But yeah, no, he hasn't really. It's kind of been, am I a good man, and all that sort of stuff, and... Yeah, we'll have to work through. If any listener out there can think of a good Capaldi quote that we can put in the beginning of the intro, that would be good. Let us know, because I'm sure there's loads, actually, if we were to think about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If we there must be a Doctor Who fan site out there or somebody's project where they've got a load of cool quotes from each Doctor.
Yeah.
They must have added some Capaldi ones in there. Do a bit of research. But yeah, if you know of any, send them in. We'll use it.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, so we'll keep the music, but we'll just add in some extra stuff from each Doctor.
Talking of making stuff and doing stuff, I saw your wallpapers, your Doctor's wallpapers. Absolutely love those, mate. Good work there.
Cheers, dude.
I've got the Capaldi one on mine. You'll be pleased to hear. No doubt you've got the Tennant.
I've got Capaldi at the moment.
Got Capaldi?
Yeah.
Oh, you got Capaldi? All right. I'd have put money on you having Tennant.
Well, I've got Tennant on the phone. Yeah.
Oh, you got Tennant on the phone?
Tennant on the phone, Capaldi on the desktop.
All right, I got Capaldi on the desktop. I was going to say, if listeners, if you haven't checked them out yet, Gary has made some really cool desktop and phone wallpapers featuring the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th Doctors. So they're on the website, aren't they? You can just go and download them.
Yes, yeah. If you head over to the website, it's normal address /wallpaper-pack1.
That's it.
Or wallpapers. If you just go to the website, bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk, I think it's the top post at the moment, the one at the top.
They're really nice. It's not always easy to find high def pictures, is it?
I really struggled a lot to find, because I thought to myself, right, if I'm going to design a wallpaper pack, I'm not just going to do like one screen resolution. I'm going to try and do all of them. So there's a 5K one for the big 27-inch iMacs.
Yeah.
So there's those ones all the way down. So it's like that 4K HD, iPad, iPhones, all that stuff. But the only trouble is, it's all right when you're down on the HD one, which is like 1920 by 1080. That's okay. But when you go to like 4K and 5K, trying to find really high-res images of each Doctor is a bit of a challenge. And it's okay for Capaldi, actually, because some of the recent promo images have been relatively okay. They've been shot really nicely and, really decent res. But I'm thinking of doing, I think on the last show, or the show before that even, I did say that if you guys wanted it, I would do a War Doctor version.
I was wondering if you were going to, yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys are up for it, then let me know and I'll do one for John Hurt. But I'm also thinking of doing one for all the classic Doctors.
Oh.
Slightly different style. Well, similar style, but slightly tweaked for the classic years. But that would be a nightmare, trying to find a really high-res photo of William Hartnell or Patrick Troughton or something. So, yes, I will see.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking that because I know sometimes when I go to find a picture to put up for the listeners' comments, if we're doing a classic, I quite often struggle to find decent pictures. Mm-hmm. Because they look fine when you click on them, and then when you actually enlarge them, they're really bad. It would be good though. I'd love to have some classic covers. You did get a request as well, didn't you, to get some, to do something? I saw on Twitter someone wanted something.
Yes, we did. It was from somebody called. I think it's Richard Davis.
Richard Davis.
I think. No, it wasn't Richard Davis. Oh, it was Peter Adamson. Pedro the Whovian. He said, yes, any chance of the classic Doctor wallpapers in a similar style? Loving all the new ones. Loving all the new series ones I'm using. Okay, yeah. So if there's an appetite for them, if we get enough people, say they want them, then I'll do them.
Yeah, because they're going to be, like you say, it's going to be a bit more hard work, isn't it? But if people want them, that'd be good.
Sure.
I'd love the War Doctor one. I think that'd be great because having listened to the Only the Monstrous set, I'm loving the War Doctor.
Okay.
It's a great set. That really good. So yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, well, War Doctors, I'll get that one done for sure. And then the classic ones, yeah. If you guys want them, we'll do them.
Excellent.
Actually, Happy New Year, mate.
Yes. This will be going out on New Year's Day, won't it? New Year's Day, yes. Oh, all our listeners will be all hungover and yeah. I'll probably still be in bed. What time is it? Yeah. Yeah,
11 o'clock will be tucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Hungover. So I just thought, because we're recording on Wednesday the 30th of December. And I was just about to say, so maybe I'll do them next year. But it is next year. It's 2016.
It is next year. Yeah, we're time travelling on podcast.
Yeah, it's getting timey-wimey.
For real, yeah.
Okay, so Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year.
So we had our end of year review last week, and it was safe to say that I think Doctor Who in general had a great year. You know what? I bet you're going to have a great year. And I think not just us. I mean, the podcast, we had a great year.
We did.
The Geeks Handbag had a great year. Some cracking videos over there, and then just the fandom in general. Like some of the other Who-tubers that we knock about with and some people that we'd met up at conventions and stuff, everybody just seemed to just be really into Who this year. And I think because, or last year, should I say, if you're listening to this on Friday onwards. Yeah, so last year, 2015, fandom just seemed to really take it up a notch for me. I'm not sure what it was. In the last few years, I think because Series 8 was a bit up and down, and we had a lot of people dropping out and people, going nuts about certain episodes, and then you had people really loving certain episodes and everyone, but I think 2015, because Series 9 was so strong as well, and then we had the official festival, everybody was hyped up for that, and some other bits and pieces. And Big Finish knocked it out the park as well. 2015, they had a brilliant year.
Oh, didn't they? Yeah.
Big Finish, they just took it up to like factor 11. So yeah, 2015, it was a good one.
I was going to say, because that's the thing. I think we're going to be relying on Big Finish a lot in 2016. Because obviously we don't know when we're going to get some new Who on the screens yet. And I think it's going to be a bit of a wait, to be honest with you. And we've had this before. And it's not such a big deal. I mean, because time goes so quick anyway. You know, when it does get announced when it's coming back, I do think it's going to be quite far off, but it'll soon come round. But yeah, I think we're going to have a few months of having to entertain ourselves, and that's one thing that Doctor Who fans are really good at, isn't it? Is actually finding other things to do with the show, whether it be fan audios or Big Finish. And we already know that Big Finish have got some great stuff coming out, and I'm really looking forward to the David Tennant and Catherine Tate coming back on Big Finish. I know it's unlikely, but I'm really hoping they do a couple of the conventions. You know, the Big Finish days, because we've been to a couple.
Yeah,
it's unlikely, but you never know. You just never know, because they might be really into it. So fingers crossed. But either way, I'm well looking forward to those audios coming out.
Oh yeah, they're going to be awesome. And you never know, because I thought it was a bit of a shock when it was announced that those two were going to do some Big Finish. I thought it was going to be a bit longer before the Beeb allowed any of the newer Doctors to do anything, because it was only recently, I mean, I say recent, it wasn't that long ago that David Tennant appeared in the 50th special.
Yeah.
So I thought that there was maybe some contractual things or something that would, you know, some more time would need to go by before they would let them do anything else outside of the, you know, the standard TV show.
Yeah.
So you do never know. You know, if we get an announcement for those guys to do Big Finish this early on, you know, they could. I mean, if they were to appear at Day of the Doctors, the 10th Planet guys, they might need a bigger venue.
Oh, they. Oh, well,
I'm being
they
serious.
Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. They definitely would.
Yeah. Because I know
I
know it's very classic orientated. Anyway, it's very much, you know, about Colin Baker and McCoy and obviously Tom Baker. But I think if you got David Tennant there and Catherine Tate together, yeah, that's a sellout within minutes kind of thing.
Oh, it would. It'd be crazy. You'd never get everyone in the. It's the Copthorne, isn't it? Copthorne Hotel. That bar
in Windsor.
In Windsor, aka Slough. Yeah, that'd be bursting at the seams, I think. But it would be great. I mean, yeah, if they did do something. It's funny because I was going to say, next thing you know, we'll get Chris Eccleston involved. And there was something on the other night. I don't know if you saw this. Because I hadn't seen it advertised. There just happened to be channel hopping. And there was some strange program about classical music or something. And Christopher Eccleston was sort of... he was sort of introducing it and all the music and stuff, but he was very much in the sort of Doctor zone. I don't know if you saw this thing. I don't even know what it was called. It was really strange because it started with him he's sort of wearing a black jacket with a t-shirt underneath,
right?
And he'd got his hair really short again, and he was kind of on the floor doing this speech about space and time and stuff like that. And I was thinking, what is this? I thought it was an advert at first, but it was actually, I'd just caught the beginning of the programme. But he was definitely channeling the Ninth Doctor in this performance. And I wish I knew what it was. I hope somebody out there knows what I'm banging on about. Because, yeah, but I was just thinking now, I just was surprised to see him doing it because, you know, he did that brilliant Ninth Doctor speech for the Doctor Who Daniel recently.
Yeah.
And then seeing him do this, I was thinking, I don't want to get my hopes up, but maybe he is starting to slightly come round to it again, because if anyone saw this programme, they will definitely know what I mean. He was, without doubt, he wasn't being the Ninth Doctor, but he was definitely going down that direction.
He had that
even
vibe,
in the
did
look.
he?
Yeah, he had that vibe, even in the clothes and don't know. You know what I mean? Like when he's doing all the sort of the movements, like he was on the floor like this, and he was sort of talking to camera, and I was just thinking, well, this is very Doctorish. But maybe I'm just getting my hopes up. I don't know if we'll ever see Chris on Big Finish, but
That would be awesome, though.
I'd just like to see him coming round to it a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't we all? Because
I'll tell you, sorry.
Yeah, because I think it's kind of unanimous that his time on the show was too short.
Yeah.
I think if we'd have got at least another series out of him, that would have been, that I think he would have really stretched it a bit more. So yeah, some Big Finish from him. Maybe we'll see that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would be good. It would be good. I was just thinking of the other stuff they got coming out as well. Obviously there's another War Doctor set coming out very soon. They rattled them out really quick. What else we got? We've got all those classic Doctors, that box set with all the new monsters as well. That's going to be really good.
I think I'm looking forward to that the most, you know. I don't know why, just something about that just screams instant classic to me.
Yeah, I think and I love all the artwork and stuff that they do now and all that. So yeah, Big Finish. They're going to fill a big gap while we're waiting for some new TV Who, which is going to be good.
I'll tell you what.
We're going to be watching lots of classics, aren't we, in between now and then?
Oh, loads. Yeah, loads of classics, buddy. I'll tell you what, though, mate. I was looking out for a Big Finish kind of Boxing Day, New Year's sale.
Oh yeah,
and I haven't seen it yet. No,
they've been doing this sort of 12 days of Christmas thing, which is mostly downloads.
Yeah, I mean, I've not really. I'm pretty sure that I think it was the year before last or something. They had a load of deals on around Boxing Day, something like that. And I was going to order some stuff. I think it was the beginning of this week.
Yeah,
and I put some stuff in the basket, and I thought, right, this is going to be cool, and then. I thought to myself, hold on a minute, what if they do like a Boxing Day sale or a New Year sale, like an early thing, but it hasn't arrived.
No, I've been keeping an eye on them because, like you, I've picked up a few things from them over Christmas before. The only thing that's caught my eye so far is they did do an offer on the Benjamin and Baxter audios, which I hear are brilliant, and I haven't got any of them. And they were doing the first series for 20 quid instead of 40, and I was really, really tempted, but I'm absolutely brassic. I'm so broke at the minute. Yeah. But that did catch my eye, and I was very tempted to get it, but I didn't, unfortunately, because there's quite a lot of other stuff I want to get from them. There's a Fourth Doctor series, the last series I want to get. Yeah. And also there's a new series coming out with Lalla Ward, which I really, really want to get, but I don't want to hear that before I've heard series 3. So there's just so much. Yeah, it's breaking the bank.
It is, mate. And this time of year, it's a bit tough as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I overspent at the weekend.
Oh, yes. I saw your picture. You went to the fantastic Who shop, didn't you? Is it Upton Park?
Next to Upton Park, yeah.
Yeah.
West Ham, yeah.
West Ham, yeah.
And because we were driving through that area, and kind of very sneakily turned to the wife and said, there's a Doctor Who shop down there, isn't there? She's like, oh, fine, 10 minutes, you know. So ran in there, and it was packed. It's the first time I've seen it, like, absolutely packed in there.
Really?
Yeah, because I haven't been in there loads. I think this is like maybe the 5th time, I guess, over the years I've been in there, and I've always been there with just maybe a few other people milling around. I know it was match day as well, but they didn't look like footy fans.
No.
But yeah, there must have been about 15 people in there.
It's really a great shop. It's wall to wall. I mean, it's so much. You could spend hours in there. 10 minutes, I wouldn't have even got past the sort of entrance. I don't think. There's so much stuff in there, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I ended up spending nearer 20 minutes in there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's like I always remember the way that you described it when we very first mentioned it. You described it as an Aladdin's cave of Doctor Who merchandise, and it's really true, because every time I go in there, I'm pretty sure it's some of the same stuff, but it always feels like I'm uncovering new bits, especially from the classic years.
Yeah.
They've just got so much stuff in there, and so I was having a look around, and I picked up a calendar for next year.
Oh yeah,
because it's my turn this year for the calendar up on the kitchen wall.
So
I got the really cool looking. It's like the quote. It's like it's just a white background with like various doctors in like this pink and purpley.
I know the one
color, and it's got some quotes on them and stuff. So that was really cool. And I was going to pick up some other, like little bits and pieces, like a couple of books and stuff. And then I thought, do you know what? I've put it off for too long. I've not owned the official Tom Baker scarf.
Oh yes,
it's been too long. You know, so it was unforgivable, really. So I picked that up, and I didn't realise, because they must have had it at a cheaper price. But I didn't realise it was the mega long. You know, Levarzi brought out. You know, the one they brought out recently, the really long, like the 18-foot I mean, dude, it's so long.
Yes, I've seen. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah. One
I
thing
bet you were
yeah.
opening it going, oh my, just more. There's more. Like one of those magician's hankies that just keeps coming out more and more.
That's exactly what it was like as I was
Yeah.
unraveling it. And my wife naturally was like, have they just like put a few of them together?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is... And I was like, hold on a minute, it is actually quite long. So, yeah, I checked the tag and it does say the longer version. But one thing I do love about it is it's screen accurate.
Yes.
The colours are bang on.
Yeah, I was going to say that one's actually more screen accurate because the initial one they did is really nice and colourful and it's a lovely scarf. But yeah, and you sort of think you think it's perfect, and then when you actually compare it to the one Tom wore, it's kind of how you picture it. But then when you see it on screen, you're like, oh no, it's not. And so the second version, it's more like the proper length. Goodness knows how Tom wore that every day on set.
Yeah.
Must have driven him mad after a while. But also, it's much more screen accurate in the colours. It's brilliant. I was just thinking they just released a very small version as well, didn't they? Like a mini one.
Yes.
That would have been disappointing, wouldn't it, if you'd have opened it and it would have been that tiny one that just is like a normal scarf length.
Yeah.
So you got that for a good price, did you?
Yeah, I think it was. Hold on, I haven't got it. I think it was 60 quid.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it normally goes out for, I think it's 70 quid.
It is
75 quid or something. So, so 60 quid, and it's really, really cool.
You'll be needing that when the winter hits. When it finally comes, you'll be needing that big scarf.
Well,
I
yeah.
imagine you wrapped head to toe in it, like sort of mummified in it.
Well, I kind of feel like a Centauran in it, because I'm like wrapped around and round, and or it kind of, because you have to wrap it around, as you know, so many times.
Yeah.
It kind of goes up, and all you see is like, from your top lip upwards. So yeah, but it's very cool though. I'm glad I've finally got one, because for some reason, it's one of those things where like, yeah, I'll get that at some point, or I'll pick it up when I'm next there, or I'll order it online when I've got some money, whatever. But as a big Tom Faker, as a Tom Faker fan, I've just left it too long, so it's unforgivable, really. So I do apologise, but yeah, it's finally around my neck.
I look forward to seeing you rocking that at our next convention.
Yes,
You tripping over it in the bar. Oh, it'll be great. Because I always wear my burgundy one, the last Tom Baker season one. I've been wearing that forever.
Yeah,
it's getting a bit raggedy now, but I always dig it out. But that'd be quite good to see you in yours as well. Next thing you know, you'll be wearing a McCoy jumper.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's next. Actually, no, that's next on the list.
Is it really?
The McCoy tank top, yeah.
My goodness, you are getting into McCoy.
I can imagine you at the bar, actually. You're just standing there with some other Whovians, and you'll just hear this massive crash and smash. And you won't even look round, you'll just be like, here's Gary.
Yeah, he's had a few.
Yeah, he's been on the whiskey.
Yeah. That'd be good. Did you, so that's what you got? You didn't get anything else?
No, I almost bought another thing that I've been eyeing up for a while. I think you've got all of them. Is these classic Doctor mugs.
Yeah, the mugs.
Yeah. I was eyeing up a couple of those, and then I thought I need to kind of play, because whenever you go shopping with your better half, you need to have a strategy. I found you can't just blow all your cash, because that's when you start getting really, you've spent how much?
Oh
in
yeah,
the Who shop.
I don't go shopping with my other half. I have to go on my own.
Yeah, so you have to have a plan of action. So I thought to myself, what I'll do is I'll just pick these things up for now. But then on the way back, I was like, so did you see those really cool mugs in there? Oh, I probably should have picked one of those up.
Yeah.
I'll get them next time. So you've planted the seed early. So
Yeah.
next time you go in there, they're fully expecting you to pick up, what you've said that you wish you would have got. So I think next time I go in there, or we're up in down in London, Forbidden Planet or something, I'll pick them up then.
Yeah, I like that plan. I like what you did there. I'll have to remember that. I don't know if it'll work on my other half, but I'll certainly give that a go.
Yeah, just
That's
plant
a
the
good
seed
scheme.
early.
So which one would you have bought if you'd have got a mug?
Well, I really like the. Do you know what? It's not a coincidence, but I really did like the McCoy one.
Yeah, because he's got the hat.
Yeah, he looks really good. The bacon one looks pretty good, because I found that regardless of what it is, whether it's an action figure or Big Chief thing or something to do with Tom Baker, it's always hit and miss whether they get the sculpt correct, you know, the likeness.
Yeah.
For some reason, it always seems to be Tom Baker that they struggle with. But I thought the mug looked pretty good. I wasn't
on the Tom Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought the mug looked actually pretty good.
For those that, just in case anyone doesn't know what we're on about, they're basically the mug is sculpted into the face of the Doctor, isn't it? And I remember when these first come out, they're thinking the sort of online pictures. They're the sort of bit of merchandise that look better in hand. The real thing looks better because I think when you look at them online, I don't think they come across that well. I think they look a bit tacky. But actually, when you get them, there is something about them. And I bought one and then just had to get them all, which won't surprise anyone.
As you do.
But they do. They look better, and the real thing looks better than the actual pictures, I think. Yeah. But the Baker one, yeah, is good. He's got the big hat and everything. Forbidden Planet were selling them really cheap at one point. I think I paid like $2.99, $3.99 for some of them. They were really heavily reduced not that long ago. So you have to have a look, see what they've got.
Yes. So that's next on the list.
Next on the list. And did you get any Who stuff for Christmas?
I did.
Oh.
I did. I got the grown-ups colouring book.
Oh, I got that.
Pretty good.
It is good, yeah.
I like a bit of colouring in.
I just like the cover because it's like white with a sort of sparkly, shiny TARDIS. That's the one, isn't it? Same one? Like a maze or something. And then the TARDIS. Yeah, I know. It's it's something about it. I like it as well.
Yeah. I also got some Doctor Who lounge pants.
I didn't get any of those.
Like, the kind of cosy, baggy pyjama bottoms. They look very cool.
Have you got them to hand? I'd actually quite like to see those.
I have. Just bear with me. Bear with.
Okay.
Bear with.
I'll do some elevator music while you get them because I like the sound of these and I haven't seen them. Oh, here he comes. Yeah. So these were a present, yeah?
These were a present, yeah. These were from my sister, actually. I'll stick. Cause this is no good for you guys listening, of course. So I'll stick a picture on Facebook or something. Ooh. But yeah,
I've never seen those before, and I really like them.
They're awesome.
Where did she get them?
I'm really not sure. I didn't ask.
For the benefit of the listener, they're kind of white lounge pants with Dalek. Well, the TARDIS on the Doctor Who logo and Daleks written on it in yellow, and that's very retro and cool.
Yeah, it's the classic logo, and the really old Daleks logo that they put on some really old stories they did back in the 70s.
I think what's surprising me about them more than anything is that it's very rare that there's any merchandise out there I haven't seen. Because I'm such a hoarder and collector, and I've never seen them. Yeah, well, yeah, cool. I've got lounge pants envy.
Did you get any swag?
I got the colouring book, same as you, which I was really quite pleased about because I was in the queue in Waterstones buying this game for my dad before Christmas, and I was in the queue forever because it was like just before Christmas Eve or whatever, and they had this table next to the queue that had a massive pile of those colouring books, so I kept picking it up thinking, should I get one of these? And I was thinking, because I was there in the queue for so long, I kept picking it up, putting it back. Anyway, I did eventually put it back, so I was quite pleased that someone actually bought it me because I didn't get it, so that's good. And the only other thing I got, my sister got me a very cool Doctor Who t-shirt, which no, I haven't got it to hand, but it's basically just a TARDIS, basically very, very similar to the hoodie that Gary is wearing right now. So it's basically blue top with the TARDIS windows. Actually, it's more like the back of yours, Gary. Oh yeah. So it's just like the TARDIS windows on the front and the blue t-shirt, and it's massive as well. She's obviously thought I've put on a bit of weight because it's it's like extra lot, but it's a real cool, nice t-shirt. So I'll be no doubt wearing that in one of my new videos this year.
Oh, nice one.
But that was it. So yeah, I think that's all I got. I don't tend to get much Who stuff because people just assume I've got everything. So yeah, just those two bits.
Cool.
Really.
The only other thing I got was a little desk calendar.
Oh yeah.
You know, the ones that you just tear off every day.
I know.
Yeah, and it's the quotable Doctor Who. So I think every day it's just a quote. That might come in handy for our new intro.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah,
perfect. Let's through those, yeah.
Funny enough, I picked that up yesterday and had a look at it. I didn't buy it actually because the guy couldn't give me a price. Everything was reduced, but this one didn't have a sticker on it. And I was like, "Is this reduced?" He's like, "Yeah." And he faffed around for so long, and then my other half came out and was moaning, and I was just like, "I'll forget it." So I put it back. But I did actually pick that up yesterday and had a look at it, so I know the one you mean.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that was Christmas. Did you get to watch, today's review episode on the day or not? Because I didn't even attempt it. I was in a house with 22 other people, so I wasn't even going to attempt to watch Husbands of River Song Christmas Day.
Well, I watched it. I did watch it a few days before it went out.
Oh yeah,
as I think you did. Just because I wanted to get some notes down early. And on Christmas Day, I just completely wrote it off because we just had a house full of people, and it was really noisy and stuff. And I knew that if I put it on and tried to watch it, I would just get really miffed with people. I would just be like, "Shut up!" So yeah, I didn't even bother. But I did watch it. I recorded it anyway on the old Skybox, and I just watched it. I think I watched it Boxing Day or day after Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen it a couple of times, and did you attempt to watch it? Because you had loads of people knocking about.
No. I was the same as you. I was quite glad that we got a preview copy because it meant I could. Because I'm normally like you on Christmas Day. I know that I'm not going to be able to hear it, but I still try and force myself to watch it over all the noise. And thankfully we'd got a preview copy, so I watched it early. And then Christmas Day, I didn't even attempt it because I was in a house of 22 people. There was no chance of it. I don't think the TV even was switched on till about sort of 7-8 o'clock. I don't even remember even seeing the TV going. So yeah, no, I didn't watch it Christmas Day. I did watch it again. Must have been 2 days after. No, where are we? I've forgotten now. I did watch it after Christmas. Must have not Boxing Day, was it? I can't remember now. But the strange thing is, I think it's one of the few times when I've watched the Christmas special sober. Not once, but twice. It's really unusual because I think normally when I watch it, it's normally when we get in on Christmas night. I've normally got to, I can't wait till the next morning. I've normally got to watch it, as soon as I can.
Yeah.
So I'm normally really, really smashed when I watch it. But yeah, so I've seen it twice now, and both times sober, which is, I think, is a first for a Christmas special.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And obviously we'll get to the review in a minute, and yeah, perhaps it would have been better if I'd have had a few drinks. But anyway, we'll get into the review and see.
Oh, God. I mean, maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe, based on previous Christmas specials, it's probably better to watch it slightly drunk still.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think it's good to have a few drinks before watching it to get into that festive spirit, I think. Yeah.
Or just to numb the pain, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah. Well, I'm intrigued to see. We'll get into the review in a sec, but intrigued to see what you thought of it because, I've got no idea, and B, the reaction from people towards it's been quite positive. It got quite a good. Well, it's been mixed, of course, as you'd expect, but there's been quite a lot of positivity towards it. So it'll be interesting to see what you think of it.
Sure. Why don't we land it and get into the review?
Yeah, I think we should.
So, Adam, my good fellow, what are we reviewing this week?
So this week is, of course, the Christmas special, The Husbands of River Song.
Falling in love with people. And if you think he's anything that small or that ordinary, then you haven't the first idea of what you're dealing with.
Your Majesty, I assure you, she is the perfect bait. When this woman is in danger, the doctor will always come.
Oh, you are a moron. No, he won't.
He's probably already here.
No, he isn't. Of course he isn't.
Possibly on this ship.
Well, go on. Scan it then. Go on, why don't you?
River.
2 hearts, stupid clothes. You can't miss him.
River.
Go on, scan the whole parsec. He's not here. God knows where he is right now, but I promise you, he's doing whatever the hell he wants and not giving a damn about me! And I'm just fine with that! When you love the Doctor, it's like loving the stars themselves. You don't expect a sunset to admire you back. And if I happen to find myself in danger, let me tell you, the Doctor is not stupid enough or sentimental enough, and he is certainly not in love enough to find himself standing in it with me.
Hello, sweetie.
Hello, sweetie.
Hello, sweetie. Yeah, so the Husbands of River Song.
Yes. So as we expected, a Moffat script.
A very festive. I mean, well, actually, not festive. What's the word? Very upbeat, wasn't it? Very. I was going to say jovial. Yeah, quite different in tone from what we've had from Series 9, I would say.
Yes. Hour long. Pretty good.
Hour long, yeah.
Yep. Rightio. I will say off the bat, I'm not really sure what its purpose is, really. I'm not really sure. It's one of those episodes where normally we've done on the past, and I've said things like, I have no idea what happened, or I'm not really sure. I'm fully aware of what happened in this episode. I'm just not sure on its place. And yeah, I think I liked it. I think I liked it a little bit. But I was just that it was. I think probably more accurate to say is that it's instantly forgettable.
Yeah.
I think is safe to say. Yes. What about you?
I'm quite amazed by the amount of positivity the episode's got, because
Right.
I love a bit of I like a bit of festivity at Christmas from the special. I'm all for that. I'm all for it being more lighthearted and fun. But I do like that. I do like it to have content as well.
Yes.
And I'm afraid, and I'm really sorry to be bar humbug about this, but I really didn't enjoy it. I really want to. As I say, I watched it before Christmas, and I thought about a week before Christmas, I thought maybe I just wasn't in the mood. Maybe I just watched it too earlier, needed to be in the festive mood. So on the second watch, I really was open-minded. I thought I'll watch it again as if I haven't seen it, just no preconceptions, because I really didn't enjoy it the first time. So I thought, no, put it on again. You probably just weren't in the mood, which has happened before with a lot of the Series 9 episodes. You might love it. You might see what everyone's enjoyed it, know. And I really didn't. I tried so I wanted to enjoy it, but I really didn't. So I'm sorry to be bar humbug listeners, and I don't want to tear into Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who, but I cannot see what's good about this episode. It didn't make me laugh or anything. I found it so over the top and pantomime that I just couldn't get into it at all. In fact, I've never looked at my watch so much during an episode, I don't think. I just kept thinking, scenes just went on, and no, it didn't do it for me. I really, really just don't know why, but it just didn't do it for me. It fell as flat as a pancake. There are about 3 bits in it that I like, and that's it, which we'll come on to. There's a couple of nice little moments in there.
Yeah.
But I just found it way over the top, and I don't think it was as funny as it thought it was. Yeah.
Yes.
So I hate to say that, because I just but that's my feelings on it. In my honest opinion, is I just didn't enjoy it.
No, that's fair enough, mate.
Couldn't get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think a lot of people went that way rather than really liking it. And I completely agree with you about the comedy side of things as well, because when we found out that Matt Lucas and Greg Davies were cast, I instantly thought that it was going to be a real funny episode.
Yeah.
But I would probably say that I was mostly disappointed with the support cast.
But once again, this has happened so much lately, isn't it? We get some decent actors in it, and then they're given nothing to do. In fact, Greg Davies hardly appeared in it, did he?
No, he was, and he wasn't really. Maybe he's looking for a turn of career or something, because he wasn't funny at all. His character was very. I mean, he played the part as it was written, I assume.
Yeah.
But as a comedy, as a stand-up comedian and a predominantly comedy-based actor, you would have thought that casting someone like him, he'd bring the funny. In much the same way that, I mean, I thought Matt Lucas was funnier, but both those characters I thought were really wasted and just. The Beeb could have saved themselves some money and cast, somebody, not as, as popular as those two.
Yeah.
So
what I'm struggling with this episode, though, is that I on Christmas Day I wanted it to be more family friendly. I think if you're gonna, I think you can make allowances on a Christmas episode of Doctor Who that you can't in the series. So. I liked the fact that the Moffat was trying to write something more fun, and for me it was very juvenile. So I sort of thought I'm sort of struggling with my conscience a bit, because I thought he's clearly tried to aim this more at the family audience, which I think is a good thing for a Christmas special. So the fact that I didn't enjoy it, as I say, I'm sort of struggling with, because I want, I like what he was trying to do, and I wonder if perhaps a younger audience liked it, but. And I kind of hope they did, because it felt really, really childish to me. So I was kind of thinking maybe kids are loving this. So, although it's not for me, I'm hoping that they're enjoying it, if nothing else. I'm hoping it's bringing some of that sort of family audience back to the show, even though I'm not really enjoying this. But I don't know. I mean, did your kids watch it? Did they enjoy it?
No.
No, they didn't watch it. Or no, they didn't enjoy it.
Sorry, mate, no, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't watch it. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think that many kids would have enjoyed this anyway. I mean, please, listeners, send us a tweet or something if that isn't the case, if your little ones did indeed watch this and they quite liked it. But there wasn't anything. I mean, for kids, you've got the big robot, which is kind of, very similar to the Big Hero 6 animation film that's out, that's just been released on Sky and stuff at the moment, and it's got that kind of same vibe to it and appeal. But I think once it'd been on screen for a couple of minutes, it was instantly clear that it was I'm not sure, I just can't see it being aimed, well, not aimed, but I can't see kids enjoying it as much as some of the other Christmas specials.
Yeah. See, I was kind of hoping you might have enjoyed it, because I've seen a lot of positive comments for this episode, which really surprised me, because having seen it, I went straight online after, in the evening to see what people thought of it. I was really surprised how many people liked it. I mean, I'm pleased, because I want people to enjoy it, just because I'm, a miserable old git, just because I didn't enjoy it. I'm glad to see that so many people enjoyed it, but I almost hoped you would have enjoyed it so you could tell me why, because I really don't get it. To me, it was just I was actually just cringing for nearly all of it. I really had struggled to watch it the second time, actually, if I'm honest.
No, I know what you mean. I mean, like I said, I think I liked it, and I mean, some of the things that I did like about it was I thought Capaldi was good, as he has been. I mean, there wasn't any.
I thought you felt a bit like a spare part.
Well, there wasn't. There wasn't anything in the script that he could latch onto to really bring out his character that we've seen in Series 9. Don't get me wrong; it wasn't any of the epic. There wasn't any epic moments like we'd seen previously. But I thought he was very much still in the zone of the Doctor, because sometimes it must be difficult for an actor to come back into, well, I suppose depends on how good an actor you are, but once you'd finished all of those blocks of filming for Series 9, and then you had a break, then you come back and you have to be, because they filmed this, when was it? Was it in September? August, September?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's filmed throughout September. So to have a break from regular filming and then to come back and have to be all Christmassy and get back into it must have been a challenge, I assume. But there certainly wasn't anything amazing. But I just thought that he slipped very well back into where the Doctor is at the moment in the story. In the overall arc of, Clara's gone, not dead, but Clara's gone. He's on his own again. And And it was, I just thought that his Capaldi, as it stands at the moment, it was a bit like Matt Smith once we got into like series 7, I suppose. It just feels like it doesn't matter on the script. He can just really sort of plant himself into it, and go with it. And unfortunately, that was one of the things, again, that let this down for me was the script. And it was the script and just the story. And I thought it was just really like a little... It could have been... This could have been sort of truncated into a little 10-minute online-only little film like they did with the McGann story.
Yeah,
That's how I think about it the most. I think if it was truncated down and was like a little, just a little explanation about River and how she got the Sonic, because to me that was the overarching thing really for this episode. Yeah. All it was just to explain, where River is and what she's at and how she got the Sonic in the David Tennant story.
The Silence in the Library.
Silence in the Library, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it, really. And they could have really, squished this all down and done a cool little webisode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just an hour.
It was dragged out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, like you said, it was a sort of, it was basically all a lead up to that. And I know what you mean about Capaldi. I think this is one of the things that worries me about it. It's a bit like Matt Smith. He got this great potential in the actor playing the Doctor, given... material that really isn't up to scratch. And as I say, you can excuse that a bit over on a Christmas special, I think. But to me, the script was dreadful. The actual storyline was pretty much non-existent. It was just a lead up to that. And worst of all, I don't know, a lot of people enjoyed this, so maybe it's just me, but it just didn't make me laugh. The bits that were meant to be funny just didn't. I just sat there groaning. Like the whole intro with the first sort of 10 minutes with River. It was really pantomime when she's like going on about, so she's talking to the audience that are watching on the screen, isn't she, about Hydroflax and his head, and he's going to perform, and she was really over the top in the performance, and clearly that's the way it's directed, and I think it was supposed to be funny, but I just found it over the top. I was just sat there thinking, oh God. And the scene seemed to go on forever. This is one of the things that I found with it, is that there were scenes, I was just sat there thinking, God, just this is dragging. Like, they spent 20 minutes at the beginning talking about that blimmin' thing in his head before anything actually happened, and then we got to the TARDIS, and this is probably the first bit that I did actually enjoy and gave me a bit of hope for the episode. Was I loved the bit with Capaldi going into the TARDIS and saying, this is my moment, I finally get to do this, and pretending to be amazed that it's bigger on the inside than the outside. I loved that scene.
That was
absolutely
cool.
Loved that, yeah. And again, just shows Capaldi can do a bit of comedy without going over the top. So yeah, that was one of the moments I did enjoy. But yeah, I don't know, it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I was going to mention a couple of things that I did like about it, and that was one of the scenes that I really liked when he's kind of playing around and trying to fake this first timer kind of thing, which is quite cool. And I like there are moments of River Song that I like. There are these little tiny moments where she's quite she's quite she plays the typical wife part quite well. They play on this thing where they did it quite a lot with Matt Smith's character, where she didn't put up with any crap from him. Yeah, and she was the typical Erwin Dawes type of figure, and I like that play between those characters. Because she instantly
worked well with Smith.
Yeah, and I think it worked quite well with Capaldi actually, especially those scenes where that particular scene where they're in the TARDIS and he's like, you're doing it wrong sort of thing, and you need to pull that lever, and she just doesn't take any crap immediately. She just straight away she's like, this isn't, I think it's just the typical old-fashioned husband and wife kind of thing, and I think they do that quite well, to be fair. And I quite like that with River Song when she's doing that with the Doctor, but the rest of the episode, I'm not sure. I think it was a bit OTT.
I was looking forward to seeing River and Capaldi, River and the Doctor together. Capaldi. I thought the chemistry was okay between the two of them. I don't think it was wasn't bad. I think she worked well with Smith, but yeah, that was one of the things I was really looking forward to, was seeing Capaldi's Doctor with River and seeing how they interacted. And I think on the whole it worked okay. I actually thought they were quite good together. Alex Kingston seemed to be, I don't know about you, but Alex Kingston didn't feel like River to me until sort of the latter end of the episode. I didn't feel she was the same character almost at the start. And I can't put my finger on why. I don't know if you felt that or if it's just me, but
Yeah.
she just didn't seem like the sort, River's quite confident, and I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but maybe it's because she was sort of, in a way, she was playing along with the whole Hydroflax things, if you know what I mean. So perhaps that's why. But I don't know, she seemed to take a while to get back into character for me, but I did love that scene in the TARDIS with her and Capaldi, like he's saying, you're doing it wrong. And I also liked it when she said that she was going to just nip off in the TARDIS, and he was like, well, what if he notices? And she's like, well, he hasn't noticed before, as if she's been just taking the TARDIS here and there. I thought it was quite fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think on the whole, I think Capaldi and Kingston worked quite well together, given, with what they were given.
Yeah, I think they work pretty good. I think I prefer the River and the 11th Doctor's chemistry.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think that worked a bit better purely because, it's something, it must be, I never really thought about it too much before, but it must be something to do with just how old Capaldi is. For some reason, it just doesn't fit in terms of that husband and wife dynamic, as well as a younger Doctor like Matt Smith and River Song, because I think she's closer to... No, she's not actually. She's not closer to Matt Smith's age at all. But I think it's just because of her, just the way she carries herself as that character. She does seem sometimes a bit larger than life and a lot more outgoing and a lot more, like you say, confident and all that sort of stuff. And, I think that Capaldi's character is if we can imagine them just sat around the TARDIS having a chat, if it was Matt Smith's character, it would probably be a lot more like, let's go out and do this, let's go and have an adventure and all that stuff. But with Capaldi, it's probably like, let's sit and have a cup of tea and all that stuff. So I think, I prefer the Matt Smith dynamic. However, I did think it worked reasonably well.
Yeah, it's strange because I think she is closer to Capaldi's age in real life, but she kind of, she doesn't look it. Whereas Capaldi... actually, I don't mean to be cruel, but he actually looks older than he is. I was thinking I'm thinking sort of the end scene where he's on the balcony. We get, when you see close-ups of Capaldi, is, he looks weathered. That's one of the things I love about him. He's got a very weathered face. There's a lot of character in Peter Capaldi's face, and I mean that in the nicest way. So yeah, he does look older than Alex Kingston, even though there's not that big an age gap, I don't think. But yeah, I thought they were okay together. I think I don't know, when I got off to a bit of a wrong footing as well with this episode, because we get that lovely sweeping shot at the intro down to the TARDIS, and we're on the Trap Street set.
I was going to say, is that the same set?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know it's not meant to be, and I know, we've got budget constrictions, and that set probably cost a lot, but they didn't really do a lot to try and disguise the fact, because it's such an important aspect of Face the Raven, that's that street. So it just seems a bit odd to reuse the set and not really try to change it, because to me it was so obvious. I know they put a bit of snow and a few Christmas lights up, but it was so obviously the same set. And I think maybe if this story wasn't being transmitted so close to Face the Raven you might have forgotten it or whatever. But yeah, just straight away I thought, wow, we're on the Trap Street set again. In fact, I think, isn't that the third time it's been used? Wasn't it in something else as well? I can't remember, but yeah, so that got me off the raw set. And I also, just talking of sort of restraints and designs and stuff, the flying saucer. Now, I know what they're going for. They're going for a retro look, and I get it. But it looked like something out of a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Yes.
In fact, and I don't think it could get even worse, but when we saw that spaceship later on, that restaurant one, who designed that? A 10-year-old? The actual design, and the only reason I get annoyed about this is because we're talking about it just makes you think that no effort's gone into it. That spaceship at the end is really basic, and it looked dreadful. You know, the UFO I can just kind of overlook because I guess they're going for that sort of look, retro. But yeah, I just thought the imagination. I kept thinking, like, where's the imagination? This, like, when we were watching The End of Time the other week, obviously we had that spaceship that looked a bit like Starbug, didn't we, from Red Dwarf?
Yes. Yeah.
But at least it looked fun and it had a bit of imagination. This thing that was floating through space at the end looked like a sort of a sausage with a light at the front or something, didn't it? It was really, really bad. And it's, as I say, the only reason I'm moaning about it is it's just because it makes you think that there's a lack of effort or a lack of imagination, which, you know, is never a good thing with a show like Doctor Who. You want to be trying to come up with new things, not sort of, yeah, that'll do. It's only on screen for 5 seconds. You know what I mean? It's not... Those little things annoy me because it just makes you think the production team don't really care. And, you know what I mean? I don't know. I could be looking too far into it, but things like the set and the design of the spaceships now, again, just added to my lack of enjoyment, if you like, for the episode, I think.
Yeah. No, I read you. And I would have preferred them to save the money from the casting and, you know, put that into some other parts of the episode. Don't know, mate. I'll totally agree. Yeah. What did you think to the sonic trowel?
Well, what was it about? I don't know. Didn't think much to that at all.
Well, she told everybody, didn't she, that she was a archaeologist.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
And obviously the tools of the trade and stuff, the trowel is one of the things, but I'm not sure why she made it a sonic trowel.
No, I just didn't get it. I think it's just supposed to be a little joke. Really, it's a little joke thing, and I suppose the only good thing about it is when the Doctor gives River her sonic finally, he does make comment about, you know, the trowel was silly, so I'm giving you this instead. So I guess it's a plot point. So in that way, in that sense, it works, I guess. But yeah, a bit silly, really. Yeah. One thing I don't get, and there's always something in Doctor Who I don't understand. And I normally come to you for answers. This robot that keeps chopping people's heads off. What's going on there? So you see this really long claw or knife come out of his finger. So he's chopping heads off and then putting them on that spike, and then they're disappearing in the body. But how is it? I didn't get that. Why does it keep swapping heads for?
Well, I think it kept Nardol's head because he's got a lot of information about River, and that's who he's after. And I think what's the other guy's name? Was it Fleming? His character name, was it Fleming or Alphonse? No, Fleming. Like, and he obviously lopped his head off because he's also, you know, in the thing with looking for River. So, yeah, I think it's a case of I don't expect him to normally keep hold of heads.
No, but how are they surviving? Like, normally, if you lop someone's head off, normally they wouldn't survive very long. So how's that? I know you got to sort of suspend a bit of belief and it's just a bit of fun or whatever, but I didn't get it. Yeah. So it's lopping heads off and they're going in and out of this body, and, you know, I just didn't understand that at all. I thought it was a sort of a stupid idea, really. If they were androids or something, I can work with it, but they weren't, were they? They were humans.
They were humans?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I didn't really get that.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those, you have to just suspend your belief a little bit and just go with it, because I'm assuming it's some kind of like advanced alien tech or something, and you know, it's because they had these like little blinking lights and little circuit boards on the side of their head and stuff, didn't they? So yeah. I don't know. I think you just have to go with it, mate.
What did you think of Matt Lucas in it?
Underused. You know, if you're going to cast somebody like Matt Lucas, then he had some funny little moments. Not really funny, but he had some nice little moments. Like just the way he delivered some of the lines was quite cool. He had that and I've seen him do that type of delivery before.
Yeah.
In some previous shows that he's written, actually, that kind of very not silly, stupid character, but that very kind of, you know, I don't know. I don't know, kind of, you know, Catherine Tate almost could have written it for him.
I know what you mean. You sort of know what you're getting with him.
Yeah. But I just don't think he was in it enough. The same with Greg Davis.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he was okay for the sort of the bits he was in. Yeah, I think you sort of know what you're getting with Matt Lucas, don't you? Like you said, he's not that he does the same thing, but he kind of does give that same performance in that character. So yeah, I thought for the scenes that he was in, he was fine. He just sort of brought a bit of comedy relief to it.
Yeah, he was okay. Yeah, and the same for Greg Davies. Really, just wasn't comical at all. I was expecting him to be. I was expecting him and Matt Lucas to be more of a comedy double act. Not necessarily that they would be partnered up together in the story, but I thought they would bounce off each other a little bit, and we'd have some. Because they're very, very funny guys in most of the other things that they've done. But in this, it was just, I don't know. But we had the same problem, didn't we, with who was cast last year?
Well, last year was Last Christmas, wasn't it? We got Michael Troughton, who I was really looking forward to being Doctor Who, and he was hardly in it.
Nick Frost.
Oh, Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Nick Frost, of course. Yeah. See, I'd forgotten he was even in it, and he was Santa. Yeah.
And I had the same vibe after watching him there. I mean, he played it very well for what was written for him, but we didn't have that typical, comedy, sort of stuff that we'd seen so much of before. And I got the same feeling from these two as well, where, it was just, I think it was just that typical, wasted opportunity that we've seen quite a few times, unfortunately. But
yeah, because I like Greg Davis. I must admit, I like the show Cuckoo he's in, and again, he sort of gives he does tend to give the sort of same performance. So again, you know what you're getting with him. But I do like Greg Davis. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed he wasn't in it more. I thought the episode looked like it was going to get better when we actually got on that dreadful CGI spaceship, that restaurant thing. Things seemed to be picking up a bit. I thought, we're getting into a bit more story here, because that was the thing. It took so long to get going, and we had this running gag of River not knowing the Doctor, which I think really should have lasted 5 minutes, not 45 minutes.
Yeah,
because that just kept dragging on. Because we got a great scene where we saw all the Doctors on the wallet, didn't we? We saw the faces, and she's like, "No, he only has 12," and all that.
Yes,
I liked all that. I thought, that was quite good fun.
Yeah, that was cool. Nice little nod there.
Yeah. So then we get on the spaceship, and she still doesn't realise she's with the Doctor. And then we got to see these baddies, when they're in the restaurant and they were surrounded by all those guys with the scars across the face. Now, they look quite good, and that was a good scene when they all turned around, like the whole restaurant was full of them. I thought, ooh. Then we got this gross scene where he opens up his head and takes out that
little orb thing, the little silver orb thing, yeah.
That was gross. What was that
gruesome.
about?
Yeah.
So unnecessary, and I just didn't get the whole point of it. It was literally there to make you squirm. But I thought they looked good. I just didn't like the whole head opening thing. It seemed pointless. I was just like, oh god.
Yeah, it looked very good.
On Christmas Day, they looked good. Yeah,
it did look good. Like the way they did it, like opening up his head, it was pretty cool. But yeah, those guys, they were a little bit. I'd not seen those before.
No,
I'd not seen those characters before, and they were. I think they were just a bit filler. Really, we didn't really need to know too much about them.
But they brought a bit of tension to the episode, because I think that's the thing. It was all very, very much laughing and japing around, and then finally I thought, we're getting a bit more content now, a bit more beef on the bone. And it, like you said, unfortunately, it didn't last very long, but that was quite good. They reminded me a little bit of Half Face Man, from Deep Breath, actually, just a tiny bit, just the sort of menacing nature of them. But they looked quite good, I thought.
Yeah, and I think it was cool how that scene was set up as well, because the Hydroflax's the body, the robot part of it, had kind of been the thing had been set up by River Song's current husband, Ramon. Is it Ramon?
I see. I can keep track of people's names. Yeah,
I think it was Ramon. It was he got his head lopped off.
Yeah,
and then he's in pursuit with Nardol's head underneath his one.
Yeah, they kept
which is weird,
changing, didn't they?
And that did bring a good bit of tension, like you say, because you had the whole transactional thing going on between the Doctor and River, and the Doctor's still trying to go along with it and and figure out how this is going to play out, and the River's just she's all about the money. And then you've got this robot as well that's trying to get him. So it does build up and does add a bit of tension. But then the last part of the episode was a little bit. It was just a bit wishy-washy, really, and that was the crux of the story. I think it was he was kind of a bit, very unimpressed with her sonic trowel. And somehow he produces this cool-looking... I mean, it is a cool-looking Sonic.
Oh, I love River Sonic, yeah.
Yeah. He produces that from somewhere. I don't know where he gets it, but... and then that's it. And then they live... Well, according to the Doctor, happily ever after doesn't mean forever. It's just an evening on Darillium, apparently, which is 24 years.
24 years. Very strange.
Yeah.
What did you think of the final reveal of him when she finally clicks that it's the Doctor next to her and all that? And then there's kind of like the spaceships, there's a meteor strike, isn't there? And then it's just kind of like, he just kind of, well, we'll just save ourselves and I know he lets everyone die in that spaceship, but because otherwise they would have died. I get that. But were they all baddies on that spaceship? I was thinking, any innocent people die in that restaurant, or was it just all, or were they all those Scarface?
Yeah,
people?
I think they were all there to do that thing.
I think I'm going to have to think they were, because otherwise I think the Doctor's let a load of innocent people die, if you know what I mean. Because I know they got to save themselves. They do actually say, don't they? You're not worth, these people are not worth dying for, or not worth one of you, or something. So they kind of make reference to it. But River and the Doctor whisk off, and that's a nice scene when the Doctor opens the TARDIS door and we see the sort of engine, whatever it looks like a jet engine.
Yeah.
And he closes it, does a sort of TARDIS jump. Then it's, the restaurant. I liked that. I think I actually do like the last part of the episode. I think this is strangely the bit that most people didn't like, but I liked it from this point onwards, because I thought I liked seeing Capaldi in control. He just knows exactly what he's going to do, doesn't he? He's like, build a restaurant here, then he does a time jump and comes back, books a table. I like seeing the Doctor in control and just knowing, we've got River on the floor, knocked out, and he knows she's okay. He says, as indestructible as ever. And so I actually really liked the sort of last bit, which strangely a lot of people didn't seem to like. We finally got to see him give her the Sonic, which we've been waiting years for. It's literally on screen for 2 seconds. Lovely looking Sonic. And obviously they're looking back across over to the towers, singing towers of Darillium. So it kind of brings River's story full circle. Yeah. Finally. And I really liked it. It's a little bit sentimental. There's a lot of wishy-washy dialogue. That blimmin' robot thing's a servant in the restaurant, which seemed ridiculous. But I did like the end scene with Capaldi and River. Just the singing towers. Thought it was quite nice and all that. I don't know what that end line was about. Living happily ever after. What on earth was that caption at the end of it? Yeah,
it did. That was a bit tacky, wasn't it?
Oh, tacky? I was just thinking, what? It kind of like, normally we get a next time trailer here, not this wishy-washy nonsense. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what that was about. But forgetting that caption, quite a nice little scene, I thought, between the two of them. Because I think they're sort of finally accepting that, she's sort of looking at the Doctor, who's clearly an older man. Mm-hmm. She's not the same person that she's been flirting with all this time. And I think she's sort of getting used to that, thinking, oh, gosh, And she says he looks smart and all this. So I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. Liked the fact it all tied in. Somebody said it does mess up continuity. Something about a mini-sode where he already took her there. And I can't think what that is.
Oh.
Do you know?
No.
Somebody said, because he finally takes her to the Singing Tower. Someone said, oh, well, that kind of trounces all over the mini-sode where he already did that. But I don't know. I'm sure there's people screaming at us saying, but I don't know what that is. Someone will have to tell us in the comments.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Because I don't remember that. But yeah, I thought it was a good, nice way to tie up River's story at last. Mm-hmm. I think it's taken a bit long, to be honest, but yeah, nice.
Yeah, and it was a good. I'm pretty sure we won't see her again. Well, not for a long time anyway, because it's all been tied up nicely, really.
Yeah, I don't think we should see her again for a while. I quite like River. I know a lot of people. I know she's a bit Marmite. I know some do, some don't. I quite like River, but I don't like seeing too much of her. Do you know what I mean? I like her popping up every now and again. And Big Finish have got their CD of her diary coming out now, actually, isn't it? So
it's out, yeah.
She'll probably work quite well in audio, I think. Be interested to see how she's written. But yeah, I don't think we should see her again for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Scores, buddy.
Scores. Well,
It's your turn to go first.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be bar humbug, and I'm going to give it an overall score of 4 out of 10. I was bored, I didn't laugh, and I just thought it was really poor script. So, despite a few nice moments, yeah, didn't work for me. I'm giving it 4 out of 10.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I think for the most part, I was a little bit underwhelmed a little bit. I thought there were some nice little moments, but yeah. But overall, I just thought it was a bit of a point in the story. I think the last 10, 15 minutes are the most relevant. And yeah, so 5.
It's not one I'm going to watch very often. I mean, I think it's, to be honest with you, I think it's one of my least favourite Christmas specials. It's not one I'm going to watch. I don't think. Again, it's a bit like we're doing the wardrobe. The only time I'll ever watch that is when we review it, and it's kind of down there for me. And it's a shame because I really want to like it, and I kind of maybe I should have had a few drinks before watching it because a lot of people enjoyed it, and I'm really envious of those people because I wanted to enjoy it, but I just can't lie, I just didn't, and I struggled with my score. I'm just going to hold this up for Gary to see. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
See how
4.
I've written that great big. I couldn't decide. It went from a 5 to a 4 and 4.5. But yeah, couldn't get into it.
4 out of 10. Rightio.
But talking of other people's views.
Yes, what did you guys think? We've got some audio clips in. Let's do that before we jump over to Facebook and Twitter. This is Alex Kingdom.
The Husbands of River Song. A really good episode, actually. I thought it was going to be a bit of a clunker, but no. I thought it was going to burn the bacon, but it didn't. I mean, obviously, we didn't want to see Capaldi and River get intimate or anything because that would ruin the character of the Doctor, or Capaldi's Doctor, and we didn't get that, which I thank Moffat for. But I feel like you could actually feel the chemistry between the 12th Doctor and River. They had really good chemistry. I think it's better than the 11th and River, and I really liked the how finding out how she got the Sonic and that. Yeah, and also you're right, Adam, like you said that the shades weren't going to go away even though he has this screwdriver. Now you're right, because we did see him get the shades out at the beginning and then go to screwdriver. Yeah, and I also like the dynamic between River not knowing about the Doctor. I found that funny. And that scene was so heartbreaking to me personally when she was saying, oh, even he doesn't love me, but I love him and he wouldn't be there, and then she just turns around and he and she realises that he is there, which I really like. And that ending at the Singing Towers is brilliant, just perfection. I'm going to give the episode an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it as a Christmas special. I hope you guys all enjoyed the rest of the podcast.
Cheers, Alex.
Thanks, buddy.
He's got a point about the Sonic, isn't he? I thought we were going to see a bit more of it, and it was only on screen for like 2 seconds, wasn't it? Capaldi's new Sonic, I mean. And yeah, the shades were back. I knew we hadn't seen the last of them shades.
Bloody shades, yep.
Doctor's turning into Inspector Gadget now, so we've got shades and the Sonic.
Yes.
I really thought they were going to kiss at the end as well. Alex has just reminded me of that. That last scene, we were zooming in. Mm-hmm. I just imagined Capaldi shouting, "Cut!"
Oh, right, yeah. I'm glad they didn't, actually.
He's having none of it, is he, Capaldi? He's like, nope.
Yeah. We had some tweets come in. This was from WhoFan. Sorry, his Twitter name was @WhoFan86. He says, this was by far the best Christmas episode in a long time. Much better than last year's, and we know how River got her Sonic. Thank you very much. Loopy Lou, she said, I really enjoyed it. Though, is it just me, or was River's character rather different to what we've seen of her before?
Oh, I'm glad you said that, because I thought it was just me, Lou. So I'm glad you thought it as well.
Peter Adamson, at Pedro the Whovian, he says, a very entertaining episode and a great send-off for River Song, 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Let's do another audio clip before we jump to Facebook. This is Ian Stevens. This one should be interesting, from Ian.
Hello, Ian from France here with my review of The Husbands of River Song. Appalling, atrocious, depressing, dire, disgusting, dreadful, frightful, ghastly, hideous, horrendous, horrible, unpleasant, deplorable, abhorrent, awful, bad, beastly, heinous, hellish, lousy, obnoxious, odious, reprehensible, repulsive, revolting, and terrible. The worst thing I've watched this year, and I love trauma movies. I honestly don't know who Doctor Who is aimed at anymore. But it is becoming increasingly clear that it is not aimed at me. A desperately deflating ending to the year. I know there's talk of minimal episodes over the next year or two, and truth be told, I'm not really that bothered if it comes back at all. Just rubbish all round. Ok, c'est suffit, je parti. À bientôt, mes amis.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Ian.
Well,
You've gone down the road of Jeff Waddle.
I know. I don't think Jeff commented on our thing this week, but I did see on another forum that he enjoyed it, and I was amazed. So, Jeff, if you're listening to this, I'm amazed you enjoyed this, mate.
Yeah.
But
Ian, not a fan.
Not a fan. You know, it's funny. I was when I very first watched this. If I was on my first watch, if I was going to write one word down to describe the episode, it would have been ghastly. So I quite like the fact that Ian used that word. I did sort of warm to it a bit more after, but yeah. So who else have we got?
Let's do another audio one. Actually, this is Joe Sweeney.
Oh, Joe.
Hello, Bleeper Box podcast. Hope you guys are well. And this is my review of The Husbands of River Song. When I first saw the episode, I wasn't completely blown away by it because there's a few bits in it that didn't sat right with me. But however, when I watched it for a second time, I really quite enjoyed it. I thought the scenes between the Doctor and River was written perfectly, and Alex and Peter acted so amazingly, and they both worked so very well together. And as they're both similar sort of age, and I thought that worked out perfectly. And I love the singing towers scene as well. That was written so beautifully, and I really love the chemistry between the Doctor and River. Negatives: I wasn't too pleased seeing the Sonic Shades back again, and that the new screwdriver was slightly underused. And Keen Hydroflax, Craig Davis. I was completely underwhelmed by him, and I find his acting was slightly wooden. And I must point out that the beginning of the Singing Tower scenes with Ramon in a robotic bodysuit, I feel that was slightly ruined a little bit, because I feel that it shouldn't really be there, and I just don't see what the point and the relevance of it really. However, I thought overall very good episode. I'm going to score Husbands of River Song 7.5. Hope you all had a good Christmas and look forward to your next podcast. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Wow.
Thanks, Joe. Some good points there, mate. I agree with a lot of that.
7.5. Yes. On Facebook, Callum MacArthur says, I'm surprised I like this Christmas special. Capaldi gave a fantastic performance as the Doctor. Alex Kingston as River Song just slips back into the character perfectly. King Hydroflax is a weird name, but it is a good character and he can change his head. I love the comedy in this episode. Goes on to say, when River was going on about how the Doctor doesn't really care or love her, I thought I was going to cry. I love how River has all the faces of the Doctor. Why did she keep a picture of the War Doctor, though?
I wondered that.
Thank God the Doctor and River didn't kiss at the end of the episode. He gives it an 8.5.
Okay.
And he's in Australia at the moment, so enjoying the sun.
Oh, lucky you.
Lewis Palmer said it wasn't bad, actually. Better than I thought it would be. There were some pretty cringeworthy moments and the dialogue was awful at some points, but it was quite enjoyable. I love how it tied up the River Song arc. When they got onto the ship, it reminded me of a Russell T Davies story. Although, answer me this, what the hell is the point of Sonic Shades when we have a new Sonic Screwdriver?
Yeah.
Good point. Sammy Satine. I surprised myself, actually, and enjoyed this one. I liked River Song again. I haven't enjoyed her since Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, two-parter. It was entertaining and reminded me of Russell's Christmas specials. So Merry Christmas, Doctor Who. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Richard Davis Says, I hate River Song. She is just an innuendo-producing thing, which was very disturbing, especially when it was towards Peter, and he's older than Hartnell. She just crops up to kill a possibly good story, especially as a tree would have been less wooden. Matt Lucas was a massive pain and about as funny as a firing squad. 3 out of 10.
Oh dear.
And lastly on Facebook, Eugene Glover says, first Christmas special I've really enjoyed in years. Even River didn't ruin it. One more audio review. This is the ever entertaining Jay Kent.
Merry belated Christmas, Gary and Adam. Hope you had a good one. Now, The Husbands of River Song. I came out of this episode absolutely hating it, so I'm glad I went back for a rewatch because I appreciated it a lot more, even if I didn't think it was the best special. Is there really a best Moffat Christmas special? But let's not talk about that. Anyway, I found that, and I use this term lightly, the plot very rushed and full of cop-out ideas, like, how can our heroes get out of this situation? I know, I'll just bombard them with a meteor shower, which wasn't forementioned earlier, because I'm Stephen Moffat and I can do what I want. I appreciated the singing tower scene a lot more because I found it was a lovely send-off to River's character, even if I don't like her that much. And if she does come back after this episode, then I'm going to be really peeved off. But yeah, there were some good points, like Capaldi and Matt Lucas, especially Capaldi's scene where he has to pretend to see the TARDIS for the first time. I love that. And even though Matt Lucas's character was written poorly, his performance was brilliant. I found Alex Kingston's acting a bit bland, like I know we're seeing River from her past, but is she so far back that she's taking GCSE drama exams? What's going on there? But anyway, yeah, not the best, but I liked it more on a second watch, so I'm going to give this a strong, 6 out of 10. Hope you had a good Christmas, and I hope you have a happily ever after.
Nice one, Jay.
Cheers, Jay.
Anything over on Geek's Handbag?
Yes, there was a couple. Matt Wills said the title sequence was fab. We forgot to mention that with the baubles and snow. What did you think to that?
Oh, yeah, that was a nice touch, I thought.
Yeah, nice little touch. Overall story wasn't brilliant, and Moffat basically took a massive, I'm not going to say the word, on the mini-sode. See, yeah, he said it as well. What is this mini-sode? It's bugging me, because I know as soon as someone tells me, they'll be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was okay. Yeah, I just thought it was a bit, yeah. Matthew Ling said, loved it so much better than last year's special. See, I didn't think last year's was great, but I liked it more than this. Alex Pinfold says, I didn't enjoy the episode as much as last Christmas, but the last 10 minutes were excellent. George Coppin, really enjoyed it. Not a big fan of the title, but I liked it. Very funny Christmas special that tied up loose ends. He gives it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Jace Howells says completely dire. Hopefully it'll be the last time River is in the show. Jamie Lawson, the first half was really poor. Seriously, I did not appreciate the first 30 minutes. However, the last 30 minutes was the most moving Doctor Who I've seen in a long while. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I didn't find it that moving, but I know what you mean. George Spencer says, loved it. I love how River has now come full circle, and it was sad as well, but thrilling. Reminds me a lot of Voyage of the Damned. Yeah, we got that funny little blue guy in the restaurant, didn't we? I forgot to mention him. A bit strange. So we got Brad Black. He says Moffat has the tendency to take his own plot lines and carry them on for far too long, but this was a fitting end to the River Song saga. I greatly enjoyed it, he says. Helen Cramp said it was totally bonkers and hilarious, particularly Greg Davis as a transformer.
Yeah.
I'd cut this person's name is so long it doesn't even finish. Goes into ... So I'm going to say Christopher Devotee ... Loved it. The best Moffat Christmas special. Really, the best.
Whoa, okay.
Really. Okay. Ryan Anthony says he loved the previous 3 years, but did this year satisfy him? Well, I guess so. It was fun, and the overall acting, plot, and script was far from special, but it was watchable. The acting for Capaldi and Kingston was good. Not sure about the others, though. Overall, watchable and fun. 7.10 from Anthony. 7 out of 10. Helen Jones really enjoyed it. She says story was fun, not too complex, supporting cast were great, and the sets were wonderfully Christmassy. Nice bit of recycling of the Trap Street set, she says. Basically, as far as the scene at the end between Doctor and River was pure magic, and the on-screen chemistry between Capaldi and Alex Kingston was exactly what I hoped for. They were superb together. I hope that's not the only episode we see 12 and River together in. They could get up to all sorts of mischief in 24 years. Yes, they could, Helen.
Of course.
She's given it 9 out of 10. And finally, Martin from the Bad Wolf podcast, he says, we get a female action hero whom intellectually is nearly on par with the Doctor, and Moffat makes her catch a diamond with her cleavage. The problem with this episode is that Moffat's 3-minute idea had to last 60 minutes. At best, this could have been made a really fun 10-minute mini episode. That's what you said, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't work past that. So Martin, not so impressed.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That was it.
I enjoyed this, and a few of us are a bit bar humbug.
Yeah, so a 4 and a 5, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 and a 5.
Yeah, and I think we'll wrap there.
Yeah.
So that was the Husbands of River song.
A complete Christmas turkey. Oh, no, sorry. Nah, it wasn't so bad.
So, again, like we've seen, I think this is par for the course for Doctor Who in general, mate. Just every episode is a mixed bag.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It gives a bit of, gives us something to talk about, doesn't it? It'd be boring if we all agreed.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So, a 4 from you and a 5 from me. Thank you very much, guys, for sending in all your thoughts, audio clips, tweets, and so on. It's all good. We're not sure what we're doing next week because we're going to kick off a whole new series of reviews because there's no newer Doctor Who on TV. So we're going to pick out a classic, one from the classic years, but we're not sure yet. So just keep your eyes peeled to Twitter and Facebook, and you'll be able to comment on that.
I'm looking forward to getting back into the classics.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I'm in classic mode already.
Yeah, me too.
So, guys, please remember to go over to the website, www.bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. From there, you can subscribe to the show and comment and listen to all the previous ones and all that stuff. Also, check out Adam's channel, The Geek's Handbag, over on YouTube and Facebook. Loads of good stuff there.
Yeah, I shall be finishing up my confession dial video next week.
Cool.
Yeah, very soon. As soon as I've just got a little bit to film. I've totally lost track of where we are, I'm trying to think what I'm thinking. Is it next week, this week? Anyway, it'll be up soon, so yeah.
Nice one. So, yes, we're not sure next week, but it will be a classic episode. But until then, my name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And remember, Lonzy!